Hey y'all, it's part two with Pam. We had such a good time. We just kept chatting. So stick around, listen in. We're going to keep talking about all of her amazing adventure travel and how it's changing the world for her and those around her.
Hey y'all, it's your travel bestie Kat, and I have a lovely friend joining us today, and she's going to tell us who she is and what she does and what she loves for business and travel.
Yeah, hello, Kat's audience. I'm so excited to be talking to Kat because I kind of blend the best of business and travel all together, I guess. My name is Pam Leinmiller. I'm a professional speaker and workshop trainer. I work in communications, emotional intelligence, mainly for data-driven analytical leaders like myself, who was a recovering computer science and math major in college.
Okay, I think a lot of people travel to escape whatever's happening in their life or just everything. How do you think travel can also help people discover who they actually are?
I think that when you're away from your routine, your house with all the things that wherever you live,
Mhm.
where all the things are that you keep feeling guilty about not doing, the whole list of I need to do this, this, and that's always an ongoing list. When you're out of your routine and you're just with yourself in a whole different environment, you you really figure out what do I want to do with myself today? Like what's important for me? Do and that whole like I was talking at the beginning, I mean, are you the kind of person that really wants an agenda and needs to be going, or are you okay with some reflection time, some experiential time in the environment that you're in? And I'm a little bit of both, I'll say. Like I like to have some exciting things to do, but I also love that unplugging idea and not having to produce anything, check anything off of my task list or run my business, just that time out. I think that gives you the opportunity to really figure out what's important to you and what you want to do if you allow yourself the downtime.
That's it. Do we allow it, right?
Right. Yeah.
How do you
Yeah.
think a little natural curiosity about the world affects your ability to lead people, train people, and also travel?
Yeah, when I talk to my clients about being a good listener, it really comes down to being curious. It really comes down to asking good questions and then absorbing and listening to the answer without thinking about what you're going to say next in response. And I think travel is a lot the same way. Like asking those great questions and what do you want to know about? What's interesting about this area? You can apply those same tactics to learning about people that you meet.
Mhm.
What's interesting about this person? How did they end up in the career they're in? Why are they doing what they're doing? What's most impactful about where they are and the difference they're making in the world? Like, those are great questions to talk to people about. And it just makes for better connection.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If someone's feeling stuck in their life or in their business, do you think travel could help give them some clarity?
You know, well, I would say yes to travel at any time.
Same, girl.
But
That's my goal for that's my theme for
I
26. Say
know,
yes
I
to
know.
travel.
That's exactly, yeah, that should be your moniker right there. Say yes to travel. I think that, especially when you're stuck, that like I was talking before about getting yourself out of your own way, out of your environment, out of your to-do list, out of your normal routine, just really helps you see other options and opportunities and maybe ask better questions of yourself. Don't feel like you have to stay inside a box. I mean, I've remade myself several times over my career and my life. And so I'm not very positive thinking, open-minded, not in a box kind of person. I'm open to new opportunities. As you can tell, I mean, I climb mountains, I go to Antarctica, explore on my own in India,
I
whatever.
love that about you, though. I
Yeah.
think that's one of your amazing attributes
Well,
that you're
thanks.
just fearless when it comes to life and travel.
Yeah, I don't know if fearless is the right word, but I am inquisitive and I am willing to take a little bit of a risk, but I try to be aware of the safety part of it too, especially if I'm traveling by myself
Oh
on
yeah.
business. I'm paying attention to the safety part of it. But I know you as an agent, you don't put your clients out in the middle of
No,
nowhere with no
no, I
recourse. You're
have
gonna
strongly
take care of them.
discouraged going rogue. I'm like, no, no,
That's
no,
right.
no.
That's right.
Let's
Oh no.
plan a pickup. Let's plan this. Like,
One of my favorite things, Kat, that we haven't talked about when I'm in towns, and I did this first when I went to France. I went to Paris,
mhm.
and I did a bike tour. I also did it in
Ooh,
Copenhagen. You can do a bike tour of big cities, and it kind of gives you not an in-depth look, but like an overview kind of look of the city. And then you can go back to the areas that you really want to know more about. And I really enjoyed that, especially Copenhagen. I valued the fact that I got to go by that stock exchange that burned down the next year after I was there. I was so glad to be able to see that historic building, and then and I got to see Notre Dame before it burned down as well. I don't know that that's a precursor. Maybe I shouldn't take any more bike tours.
well, it is a good way to cover a lot of ground though in
It
the bigger
is.
cities. Like we did one, not a bike tour, but we did a Segway tour,
Yes.
which is
Yes.
similar in Barcelona, and we
Ah,
felt like we got to cover a lot more ground and see a lot more things than we
yeah.
would have had we tried to walk it, or like you couldn't cover as much
Hmm.
ground walking.
Absolutely. One of the things I really enjoyed before the Antarctic expedition was because we left out of Ushuaia at the very tip of South America, and it's the Patagonia region.
Yeah.
And our expedition company had a day trip before we boarded our boat at 4 through Patagonia and
Ooh.
that historic area and just where that old highway, the
That was
American.
the happy dance. I was like, ooh.
It was, yeah, it was really great. And we had an authentic lamb lunch where they put the lamb over there's a open flame fire and they stack the lamb up and cook it that way. Oh my gosh, it was so delicious. And that was actually a highlight of the trip. We hadn't even gotten on the ship yet to Antarctica, but
That's so fun.
that was a really great part of the trip.
What's your next big adventure?
Well, good question. We we were thinking about climbing Machu Picchu, but I'm not sure we're going to do that. I think we might do something that's a little bit less kind of commercial. I think it's become a bit of a destination, and we like to get off the beaten track a little bit. So we haven't planned the next one yet. Maybe I need to talk to you about what our next
Right?
one's going
Like,
to
had you
be.
thought about going down to like Peru? And now I don't feel like it's overdone yet, but I think it will be kind of like
Yeah.
Machu Picchu. But they've got those where you can go and stay on the side of the mountains in those little, and they're attached. And
Yeah.
like you have to kind of like climb up there on these, and you're hooked on harnesses and different things. And then you spend the night in that. And the
Yes.
view in the mornings just looks spectacular.
And I haven't investigated that yet, but
I'm
I
happy to
know
help.
I'd be
Happy to
using
help.
my. That is one of the applications for the female urination tool
Oh
that
yeah,
I
you're for
talked
sure
about
taking
for
that. Yeah.
Kilimanjaro. Those ladies that do that climbing, that's what they use to be able to go to the bathroom while they're up there. In any case, that's an option. I just haven't done kind of rock climbing with being hooked into the side of the mountain.
You're not necessarily rock climbing. Like
Yeah.
they've set up things that are attached to the mountain
Okay.
as well. So you're
Yeah.
still on a trail sort
Sure.
of, but
Okay.
they're still hooking you to things. And
Yeah.
I think you zip line down after you
Cool.
spend the night. So you
Cool.
climb up on the little things they've built, the
Yeah.
scaffolding or whatnot, for lack of a better term,
I
and
think it'd
then
be
you zip
fun.
line out. So that's kind of cool.
That would be actually very cool. I would totally be open to that. I know the very first mountain I climbed that really turned me on to the adrenaline and the feeling you have when you get to the summit. I can't explain it. If you haven't ever worked to climb up a mountain, it was Mount Whitney in California, and it's the highest peak in the lower 48 states. So Alaska, has higher, but
Mount
that was
McKinley.
my first one, and That's why I said, you said what mistakes most people make. I did not ask enough questions before that first climb because I didn't realize that we were taking the mountaineers route and we were going to be roped in for the last 500 feet of
Oh, you're
the.
all attached to each other?
Yeah, well, we had two guides because you have to have a professional guide to go that
Hmm.
way. And they split us up. There were six of us, so we were in groups of three, and the guides were our belays, but we were roped in. And it wasn't until we were at getting ready to leave, and we were going through our packs and everything about food and making sure we divvied up what everybody was carrying, and they handed me a helmet and a harness, and
And you're like,
I
what's happening?
I thought, why do I have a helmet and a harness? And so that was a little late to ask that question. So
Yeah.
that was my advice, is to ask more questions on the front end. But
Yeah,
it was
or
great. I loved it.
I feel like one of the great things with all of the adventure travel now is there's Facebook groups where you can go and, or even on Reddit, and
Yeah.
find people who've already done it. And so you can ask those questions, be like,
Mhm.
hey, what, or you can,
Right.
if you don't want to ask the questions, you can just read through all the previous chats. Because
Right.
sometimes when you ask questions, people who've done this for a hot minute forget that there's new people and they pop off. They do the keyboard gangster response.
You know,
So I usually
yeah.
just go troll through the page and read all the previous responses and questions and
And there needs to be no judgment because,
right,
I mean, when
like
you haven't done something before, you do need to ask the questions.
and you should want the newbies coming on here and asking the seasoned pros the questions because
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I've hiked to a volcano, but I haven't hiked Kilimanjaro. I would
Yeah.
need to ask lots of questions to make
Yeah.
sure,
Yeah.
I don't do something stupid.
Well, we did experience the same thing. The other volcano we climbed, my husband and I, is Mauna Kea on Kona in Hawaii, and we did that, and that was really fun too. But the same idea, really stark volcano, not quite so much dust. We did that in one day, so we weren't staying over,
Yeah.
and it's not as high, so it wasn't as cold. And that part, although it was cold, that was better. Well, Kat, what would you recommend for somebody like me wanting to think about the next adventure, like you as a professional
Hmm.
travel arranger? Like, what would you
I do.
suggest?
I've been eyeballing those, staying on the side of that, going to
That's what you
Lima
like,
and
yeah?
doing a food tour to eat all the things, and
Oh,
then going out
oh,
and staying in one of those for a night, and then going, and they've got some areas where you can go out and just you're basically in a yurt, but it's solid and the top is open,
yeah,
like you're covered, but it's clear. So you get
yeah.
to watch all the stars. And I just
Oh,
think that would be fun. I would like to go investigate Peru and just
okay.
do some of the newer, out of the way things that aren't as commercialized yet.
All right. Yes. And if you need a partner to go check those out for you that you
Right?
might be arranging for your future clients, think of me.
Yes.
Yeah,
I've got a future travel buddy
I
right
think
here.
maybe you do.
Okay, I got some rapid fire for you.
Yeah.
When you
Oh my
travel,
gosh.
are you a window seat, an aisle seat, or a private jet girly?
I'm a window seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you don't, even if you're going solo, you don't mind being trapped in there? I
I
get
just prefer
stressed.
the window seat because, yeah, I don't get up a lot. Yeah, and unless it's a long flight. And my etiquette there is I wait until the people next to me get up. Usually
Fair.
they get up more than I do. I'll go to the bathroom right before I leave, and then, yeah, I'm there. If it's a not too long of a flight,
Hmm.
certainly domestic in the U.S., I'm okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
What's always in your carry-on bag?
Vaseline for my lips.
Fair.
They get dried out, and like cough drops or some kind of
Yeah.
something for me to have. Yeah.
I always
And I
have cough
usually,
drops and little ginger chew things.
yep, something like that, something to wet my, like before this podcast, I was sucking on something just because your mouth gets dried out, especially at altitude. I do try to like pre-game it with
Mhm.
water. So my
Always got to stay
pre-gaming is
hydrated on a
water.
flight.
Yeah, not nearly as fun as other pre-gaming I've done, but for a flight, it's water.
Well, for a flight, you got to stay hydrated.
That's
So drink
right.
some water or get some electrolytes in you.
That's right.
What's your favorite city you visited for work?
Oh,
There's
you
no
know
wrong
what?
answer.
Yeah, no, California is beautiful.
Yeah.
I do not want to live there, honestly, but
Mhm.
I love visiting there. And I just remember some work in San Diego. It's just gorgeous there. And I've loved that.
I can't wait to get to San Diego. I've only been to California once,
Okay.
and it was on my 18-day cruise. It was a transatlantic, so we
Oh,
went from Miami to LA, and then I went to Burbank to spend the night because
yeah.
my bucket list was to hike the Hollywood sign. I know
Oh,
it's silly, but I needed to do it. I need to
fun,
check that box. And
fun.
I walked around that before I did the hike in Burbank, and California is lovely. I wouldn't want to
Mhm.
live there, but
Yeah,
everyone was so nice.
yeah,
I was just, I feel like they've been maligned, the
yeah.
people. I enjoyed them. Like,
Oh, yeah. Oh, the people are great. The location is great. It's just the rest of the environment I'm not keen
yeah,
on. Denver would be a really close second, or Colorado, just because of the climbing and the
yeah.
beautiful country. It's
Oh, the
gorgeous. The mountains.
outdoorsiness of it. I just
Yeah.
talked to a friend that's was a professional mountain bike rider, and we were
Oh,
talking about all the things in Colorado
yeah.
and kind of like that's the motherland for mountain
Yeah,
biking and
that's
all
right.
that. And he was talking about one of the places, and I was like, well, I mean, the outdoors there, like the weather's
Yeah,
optimal in the
it is.
spring, summer, and fall
Yeah.
because it's never really hot. You don't have a lot of bugs. Like, I feel like
Hmm.
it's the perfect place for
Really
hiking,
pretty.
biking, all the fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
They have healthy people in Colorado because of that.
Oh, for sure.
They
How could
do.
they not be?
I
I
mean, it's,
mean,
yeah, the statistics.
I don't think you're allowed to be a couch potato and live there. Like,
No?
there's rules. Like,
Yeah.
someone will turn you in. What's the best conversation you've ever had while traveling? Maybe it was the person that
Hmm.
ended up sitting beside you on the plane.
You know what? On my train ride from Delhi to see the Taj Mahal, it was a couple hour train ride in the morning. I sat next to an Indian physician
Ooh.
who was, based in Delhi, but he was going to the remote area, and he does that every so often. He has appointments down there, but he studied here in the States, spoke perfect English. His daughter's in college here in the States. I mean, we have a lot of cooperative things that go on between
Mhm.
us and other countries as far as education. And that was a delightful conversation. It was unexpected. I didn't think that I would speak with anyone, but he was sitting next to me and we struck up a conversation. And I just remember it because it was so refreshing, and he had such great things to say about the States. He loved living in and working in India and serving his people and the people that he grew up with. His family is there, but he really appreciated the United States as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people that travel for medical tourism now, and we've noticed a
yeah,
lot of doctors do come here and train and then go home to serve in their communities
yeah,
and in their areas where they live, and then you can get that excellent US healthcare at a fraction of the cost
right.
if you're just willing to travel for it. Mexico,
That's
India,
true.
Turkey, there's a lot of them that are up and coming for
Yep.
the fun medical tourism. Okay, if you could host a leadership retreat anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
Oh, let me
Mhm.
think. I think it might be somewhere I haven't been. It would have to be, I think it would be fairly remote. I think about an island somewhere, like I don't know, the Galapagos come to mind just because I know they're uncharted and, just
Have you gone to the Galapagos?
have not. That's where I haven't been.
I was
I
looking
haven't,
at that the other day.
you were, well, I haven't been to Greece either. And I know there's some areas that, anyway, a place like that. And why would be because my retreat idea would be, I mean, my ideal client is like a high level executive who deals with hard decisions all the time, is very analytically minded, and they need to get away from all that and out somewhere
Yeah,
very remote. And so that's the why part of it, so that they could really immerse themselves in the the agenda of the retreat and the goals of that. Yeah.
that's so cool. And there's so many smaller Greek islands that you
Hmm.
could definitely find one of the less party, less populated ones
Yeah. With
to do.
some great food and catering, and just curate it to meet your audience's needs. Yeah.
All right. So if you could
Okay.
leave my audience with one leadership lesson that they should pack in every suitcase as they travel for work and fun, what would it be?
I think that leadership lesson,
Mhm.
what I come across more and more is people that make assumptions based on externals. And I think you can't do that. You can't make assumptions based on the externals of a person or a company or a team. I think you really need to ask some great questions and be a good listener. That's what I
Okay.
would that's what I would have them pack in every suitcase, is always be curious and always be willing to listen and be open to what that brings to you.
And meeting new people.
And
Yes,
meeting new
I love
people.
that.
Yeah.
Where can everyone find you so they can learn more about Pam?
Well, I have a website under my name, Pam Leinmiller, LeinMiller.com. Also, elevate your leadership forwards there, because that's what I'm all about, just trying to elevate your leadership. And that might be leadership of yourself, of a team, of a company, of your family. I mean, it all applies. And I'm
Yes.
very active on LinkedIn. So I'm
Okay.
sure we'll have those links in the notes.
Absolutely. So
Thanks.
we'll tag it down below. So if you want to go find Miss Pam and pick her brain about
I would love it.
climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, or you need help leadership wise, whether it's like she said, your family, yourself, I probably need help with that, or, or your employees at work, she's here to help you. Oh
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Kat. I
my
have
gosh. Thank you so
loved.
much. This was amazing. You are just full of, I'm just enamored with you, like all the fun things you've done.
Well, I'm so glad I had the opportunity to meet you and you invited me on the podcast. So thank you.
Yes, we're going to have to plan the Galapagos and have you back on so we can talk about that
I'm on it.
because I definitely want to go do
Or
that.
you need to be on it and I'm in it.
Right. Well, we'll
That's right.
both go and then we'll talk
Okay.
about, we'll do some lives and we'll talk about, hey, this is what,
I think you really might become my travel bestie.
right? I
Yeah,
mean, it's official now. We are
that's
travel
right.
besties.
Thanks. Have a great day, Kat.
Thank you. You too. Thank you so much.